Gather close, children of the village, travelers of the world, and dreamers of tomorrow. Tonight, I shall tell you a story wrapped in laughter, dipped in tears, and seasoned with destiny. A story about a boy who could read the future, but only under a streetlight. In a quiet corner of the world sat the village of Lumeko, a place where goats argued more than politicians, where chickens crossed the road and no one still knew why, and where the elders believed that a child who asked too many questions was either destined to become a genius or a troublemaker. In this lively village lived Mako, a skinny boy with hair that looked like it fought with the comb every morning, eyes that sparkled like two stubborn stars, a brain that never stopped thinking, even when everyone begged it to rest. Mako asked questions like, "Why can't humans fly? Why can't we talk to the moon? Why does Uncle Bobo's stomach growl louder than a lion?" The villagers often said, "That boy's head is louder than a radio with no battery." Everyone laughed, except his mother. Mako loved to read, but there was a problem. There was no electricity in their small hut. Night came quickly. Darkness came even quicker. And so, while other children played in the dust, Mako clutched his books and waited for the sun to disappear and the streetlight outside to glow like a guardian star. Every night, Mako carried his dusty books to the single streetlight in Lumeko. It flickered like it had asthma, sometimes bright, sometimes dim, sometimes off entirely. But Mako never missed a night. He sat on the ground, legs crossed, while people walking by shook their heads. "Look at that boy again. Is he reading or trying to cook his brain? Maybe he wants to marry the streetlight." Mako didn't mind. He read physics, stories, inventions, stars, and the secrets of the universe. He wanted to build things that had never existed. Of course, every hero has enemies. Mako's enemies just happened to be three boys who thought their muscles were more important than their brains. They were Capo the Strong, Mandu the Loud, and Zola the Confused. No one knew why he was part of the group, not even him. They teased Mako every night. "Hey, book boy, borrow your brain, ours is tired." "Mako, are you trying to send email to the moon?" "Why read? You cannot eat knowledge." One night, they even blew out the streetlight, literally, by throwing sand at it. The light went dark. Mako's book closed. His dream trembled. He walked home in tears. His mother, a strong woman with a heart big enough for the whole village, saw him crying. "Mako," she said softly, "heroes are not chosen by comfort. They are chosen by struggle." She wiped his tears and added, "If they laughed at your dream, it means you have something they cannot see." That night, Mako returned to the streetlight with more courage than before. One evening, the streetlight flickered and died. The whole village celebrated. No more night reading. The boy will finally sleep. The village can rest. But Mako refused. He climbed the streetlight like a monkey chasing a mango. Neighbors shouted, "Come down before your brain leaks! Mako, you want to electrocute your future?" He unscrewed, rescrewed, hit the pole, shook the pole, even begged the pole, but nothing worked. Then he whispered, "If light will not come to me, I will create my own." He collected an old radio battery, broken wires,
a jam bottle, and his uncle's missing torchlight bulb, which he borrowed without permission. After hours of trial, error, smoke, sparks, and mild electrocution, Mako built a small lamp. When he showed his mother, she gasped, "Mako, it works!" "Yes, Mama," he said, "but wait till you see version 2.0. He carried his homemade lamp back to the streetlight spot. People laughed, pointed, and clapped sarcastically. But when they saw the light shine, their laughter melted into awe. One day, a wealthy traveler visited the village. He wore a shiny suit, big hat, and shoes so polished you could see your future in them. He announced, "I am looking for a child with a brilliant mind. A scholarship awaits." The entire village pushed their brightest kids forward, except Mako. "We don't want embarrassment," they whispered. But Mako skipped forward anyway. The questions began. What is energy? What is gravity? What can power a village? Mako answered everything, sometimes with facts, sometimes with jokes, and once with, "Gravity is the reason Uncle Bobo's belly refuses to float." The crowd burst into laughter. The traveler burst into joy. "Mako," he declared, "you are the child I seek." Capo, Mondu, and Zola fainted on the spot. Someone had to bring smelling salts. Someone else had to bring water. Zola woke up asking, "Did we pass the exam?" The crowd ignored them. Makoko received a scholarship to study engineering in a faraway city. His mother hugged him tightly, saying, "Go and build what has never been built. Go and bring light to the world." Years passed. Makoko became an inventor, a creator, a builder of dreams. He made machines that worked like magic, vehicles that ran without fuel, and lights that never died. People around the world whispered his name, and whenever he returned to Lumeko, the streetlight stood proudly, as if smiling at its favorite child. When he became a great man, Mileko returned to Lumeko with a gift: electricity for the entire village. Children danced, adults screamed, goats fainted. Uncle Bobo shouted, "Light! My stomach will finally stop growling in the dark." Mako smiled and said, "This village gave me darkness, but also gave me the courage to create light." He gathered the children and told them, "Dreams grow best where people believe least in them. Do not run from your light. Even if you must sit under a street lamp, read, learn, build, and dare." And from that day, every child in Lumeko believed they could become something great. And so, traveler, listener, dreamer, that is the tale of the boy who read under the streetlight, the boy who created his own future, the boy inspired by a man named Elon Musk, who himself read under flickering lights, asked impossible questions, and dared to build what others feared. The world will never forget Mako, not because he was born special, but because he refused to let darkness stop him.